Hello, how are you today? Great to see you again on my YouTube channel on the live stream. Today is the 1st of September in 2023 on Friday. So happy Friday to you, and I hope you are having a great day today. So let's start the live stream. So I just came to desk, so I will prepare everything on my screens. But in the meantime, since we are in the month of September now, I hope we will be seeing some more trends in the month of September. Usually that's the case every year in Forex markets. So let's see. Alright, so now let me switch screen. So before I further proceed, let me make an announcement which is about my social medias. So I do YouTube, this one, and second YouTube channel where I post my daily lifestyle. And I play the violin, and I have 2 videos on my second YouTube channel. So feel free to check it out from the below description. And I have a Twitter account, I have Facebook and Instagram, and I never do Telegram, I never do TikTok. So if you see me on one of these social medias, there's all fake. So please be careful. And also, I've seen lots of fake accounts of myself on Instagram, so and also Twitter also. So please make sure that you check this, username to make sure that it's myself. And I never send any messages through social medias from myself. If I get the message from someone, then I may reply, but I get too many messages, too many junk messages on the social medias about promotions, about collaborations and so on. So I usually do not reply, and I do not usually check the direct messages in social medias. So the best way to reach me by email. So please remember that. Okay, so now let me start. Okay, looks like I do not see any comments on the YouTube yet. Looks like there's some lag, but yeah, let me start. Okay, so let me now switch screen to TradingView and see what's happening among the markets. So, and today, before I start my analysis, let me remind everyone about also the news. So, today is the 1st of September. In the 1st September, first Friday in the month. So we have big news. We had unemployment rate in the US and also PMI in the US too. So we had lots of big news today. So in this case, when I see this big news like this per day, then what I first check is not usually the chart, but first I prefer to check the currency strength chart and see which currency is strong and which currency is weak today. So I go to the strength chart like this, and it's really easy, clear to see exactly what's happening among the markets. So here was exactly when the news happened. Then USD got sold first initially, and then CAD followed. CAD also got sold. And JPY was bought. Usually USD and JPY are negative correlation. So when USD goes down, JPY goes up usually, which is normally the case. And AUD also goes up. And the Euro, Pound, and the Swiss francs are almost sideways. So I can see that initially USD went down, and then for the last 30 minutes or so, USD itself became bullish, and CAD also became bullish. JPY went down, and AUD also went down. So this is really volatile market. I can tell at a glance from this strength chart, the currency strength chart. So every time I see this big news, before I check charts, I also check the strength chart and then expect what's happening among these forex markets. So personally, I use this strength chart. I have been using this website for the last, I would say 5-6 years, and I really like this. So I simply use it. But when you search Google, currency strength chart, then you may be able to find so many websites. So whichever you prefer, you can check the strengths of each currency, and especially when there's a big news, I recommend to check it first. Okay, so let me say hi to everyone. All right, good to see you, Gacy. Thanks for joining. And Samsara, good to see you. All right, Guebo, good to see you from Brazil. Thanks for joining. And Roseanne, good to see you. And Christopher, thanks for joining. Good to see you too. All right, TGIF, that's right. Yeah, and Edward, thanks for joining as well. All right, EuroJPY. Okay, let me check that one after this. All right, Kohi-san, thanks for joining. Good to see you. All right, how much time before major news you avoid the trade? I would say 1 hour. Before news, I avoid trading. Yeah, because I enter trade before the news, and I may not be able to run any profits. Then I may have to exit before the news, whether it's a win or loss. And it may not be time efficient to keep holding my trades. So I prefer to, I would say, avoid trading 1 hour before news. And after news, it depends on when the market settles down. Sometimes the market settles down and find new direction 30 minutes after news. But sometimes the market continues to consolidate for a couple of hours after big news. So in terms of trading after news, it depends on the market situation. But before big news, I avoid 1 hour usually. You may be able to enter trade before news and fix some profit before news. Maybe you may be able to fix 10 pips or 20 pips of profit. And if you are aiming for these smaller pips, then I think you can still trade. But make sure you exit and take profit before the big news, because these big news, fundamental big news, can violate any kind of technical confirmations. So sometimes in one single candlestick, it breaks a Kumo or Kijun Sen, and you may be able to see it already, but one single big news can change the whole market direction. So that's what I think about the news, and I do not want to trade because it's almost like becoming gambling. So if you want to take 10 pips, 20 pips before news, I think you can still take trade before news, but it may be tricky. And also one more thing is that let's say 1 hour before news, the market tends to be very quiet, because the markets are also, the participants on these forex markets are also, waiting and preparing and, monitoring, see what's happening, what will be happening at the news. So they also know that, these big news can, spike and make the market very tricky. So that's why usually the market tends to be very quiet before news. So even if you trade before news, you may not be able to make any profits. Then you may have to monitor for 1 hour or so, then close with very small or very small profits or loss, or maybe break even. So for me, I value time efficiency than number of trades. So if I do not expect the potential pips, buy or sell and hold until break even and trial profits, If I cannot do it, then I don't want to trade. So before big news is one of the timings when I don't enter trades. And also towards the end of the day, or towards the end of New York, for example, or before the weekend, on Friday night before the weekend, I also do not take entries because of the same reason. Next day or next Monday, the market may be volatile and we may see some gaps between the candles. And because the brokers are all closed, you cannot execute, you cannot exit your trades. You can modify your trades. So I think it's a risk, not being able to touch your positions, manage your positions. So I do not take entries with the same reason, and also it's not really time efficient. So yeah, once I enter trade, I monitor until I set break even, and then I leave chart is my style. And once I set break even, I leave chart for a couple of hours. So that has been my trading style, and I do not monitor chart every single hour or every single minute. I never check charts. So because I value time efficiency, I try to reduce my screening chart time, and I try to reduce the monitoring time on my positions, but expect similar or even bigger reward than scalping strategy. So that's why I do not want to trade when it's not time efficient. And that is my style. Everybody has different styles, so you may be more excited in scalping, then I think that will be good for you. But I tried scalping when I was a newbie, and I took 30 trades, 20, 30 trades per day, and I continued to lose. So I spent so much time every day to scan charts, entries and exits almost all day long, 10 hours or so every day, but I kept losing per monthly basis, and I got so tired and I got so discouraged, and that's why I don't prefer to do scalping for myself. And when I switch my strategy from scalping to swing trade, then I start to find better performance. So I figured myself that my day swing style and trend follow strategy suits my personality than scalping, and that's why I started to use Ichimoku and capture the trending markets and look for entry opportunities. If not, I stay away. Become style, but still I expect some profits every month, and in yearly basis I have 10% return per month in average. So I reduce the time to screen charts, reduce the number of trades, but I still make profits throughout the year. So that's my style. So coming back to this topic, if it's not time efficient, meaning if I cannot keep holding my trades for the next couple of hours, then I do not take trades. And in this reason, I do not take entries before news. I hope that makes sense to you. But yeah, that's my logic. So there are so many strategies out there, but you have to find which strategy suits you the best. And until you find it out, you may have to try different strategies, different ideas, different time frames, and see which one suits you. Okay, so let me say hi to everyone and check some other comments. Hello Tarandeep, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Oh yeah, so let me show Euro JPY and check some other comments. Looks like Euro JPY has been resisted by close to 160, and yesterday it broke the Tenkan-sen. But today is the doji. This is a daily time frame, and today is a doji, and so next week the market may be bullish. There's a trend line, the yellow trend line. So the market may be supported here, and next week it may go bullish still. So for me, it's bull trend on Euro JPY. I continue to look for the new buying opportunities next week. Oh, by the way, next Monday is a New York holiday, so we may see less volatility among the markets. Just for your information. Okay, Samsara says, when there is USD news, you also avoid trading on JPY, for example. I avoid all the other markets. Not only USD, not only JPY, but I avoid all the markets before the big news. Yeah. Hello, Ahmed. Good to see you. And Reza, thanks for joining. Welcome back. All right, Holman, also good to see you too. All right, Felix, thanks for joining. Riyadh, good to see you. Okay, Reza says, can you introduce a scalping strategy? I do not have scalping strategy, so unfortunately I can't. I used to use scalping strategy before when I was newbie, but I wasn't be successful. If I try now, I may be successful, but personally I prefer more, longer term trend follow strategies by Ichimoku. And Ichimoku Kinko is not really for the scalpers. Ichimoku is more for the swing traders. Hello, Photo, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Okay, Homan says, is the New York session opening is spiky as London session opening? Yes, New York session can be spiky because you will be having, a couple of news, multiple news when each session opens. When the Asian session opens, there may be the news in Australia, New Zealand, or Japan. And when UK opens, in Euro opens, you may have some news on Euro and UK and other countries. And when New York opens, you may have some news in the US, in Canada. So each session, when the market opens on each session, there are multiple news, whether it's a high impact or low impact. And big players also come into the market, so the market can be very spiky. So I don't recommend you to trade right before these sessions either. Okay. All right, Leo, thanks for joining. Good to see you too. USD CAD. Okay, USD CAD is, let's see over here. Okay, today is bullish. So it looks like it's still going up to the resistance level, 1.3654. Today is bullish, and the price is about to be above the Tenkan-sen on the daily time frame. So next week, I think the market continues bullish. So USD currency remains strong over CAD. So yeah, I think USD CAD fundamentally speaking too, it's bullish. All right. Hello, Lamin. Good to see you. I like the background. Oh, thank you very much. The background of my room. It's rainy. Is it in Dubai? Yes, this is in Dubai. I live in Dubai since 2021, summertime. And it's not raining actually. Today, it's very foggy. Yeah. This year, summertime, Dubai has been super humid. So every time I go out, my glasses get, foggy too because of the moisture on the air on the outside. And it's very hot, more than 40 degrees Celsius. So very hot and humid. So when you go out right now, it's like sauna. But yeah, it's been great. Usually nighttime it becomes better here. Yeah, so time flies. This is my third year in Dubai in July. This year it became my third year in Dubai. So yeah, it's a great experience to live some other countries. I still miss Japan, and I may come back to Japan, maybe a couple of years later. But for now, I like to explore more because, life is just one time, and I want to enjoy my life, explore new things, new countries, new culture, and trade at the same time. I think this is one of the things that I like to choose Forex trading. After I quit quit my full-time job to be able to trade any places in the world. It may be challenging sometimes because you may have to get used to the new environment, and psychologically sometimes you may feel difficult to live in different countries and trade at the same time. But once you settle in, then I think it will be much better. For myself, just speaking about Dubai trading, I like Dubai trading because in terms of the time zone, this is perfect. When I was in Japan, New York session opens at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. and I had to stay late until like 2, 3 p.m. to watch New York sessions. And after that, I usually went to bed. And in Asian session, usually there's no trends in the Forex markets. So I do scan charts in Asian sessions, but usually I do not take trades. So, and the market started to be active at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. in Japan time when UK opens. So it was a bit difficult for me. And also sometimes I have some meetings or I have some dinner with my friends at night time. So it was difficult to balance myself to trade and my life together in Japan. But here, you know, it's really nice in that sense. Yeah. And I get, you know, bigger space in Dubai than Japan, obviously. So that's also something I like here. So if you go to different countries, then you may find it's also interesting to, you know, not only about the culture itself, but also the different style, different like how you say, like a different environment itself. Yeah, and speaking of psychology, it also changed a lot for me. When I was in Japan, psychologically, I would say, how to say, like I was trying to be too precise. I was trying to be perfect on my trades. Because I think, because of the Japan culture, I think everybody's keeping time and everybody's trying to be, you know, keep on time and try to, how to say, like, you know, how Japan is maybe. Try to be on time and try to be perfect. But that was a bit stress for myself, to be honest. But here, it's more open, and whenever time comes, I do things. Whenever it's not the time, I don't do. So I feel more relaxed here, more natural to me, and I feel more like, how do you say, I feel like more myself here. So I think that's also some psychology change between Japan and Dubai. But you know, of course, Japan is the very nice country, and I love to visit back once in a while. So it's good to know some, you know, different cultures, different environments, so that it opens your mindset and you can be more flexible on your trade itself also. Yeah, so that's how I feel after coming to Dubai. You know, visiting and living are two different things, completely different. So if you visit Japan, you may like it, but if you start to live, then you may start to see some realities. So, yeah, and you know, work in Japan is really difficult. Psychologically, it was difficult for me because I had to stay up late until like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I used to work. And after work, I usually get so stressed and tired that I wasn't feeding. I was not feeding to check charts anymore. So that was also difficult. But anyways, I think I will talk about that topic on some other chances. Okay, yeah, so let me see. Let me check some other comments. Guebo, thanks for joining. Good to see you too. He says, Sensei, in the daily chart, if a candlestick is breaking a strong resistance, do you wait for the break to look for trades or not necessarily? It depends on the Kumo shape. You know, I do use Ichimoku and I do look at the charts by Kumo, Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen, and Chikou span. And when I see the Kumo to be thick, then I expect the market breaks the resistance. So I don't wait for the breakout. I enter trade before the breakout happens so that once the break really happens, it goes really fast towards my direction, so it's time efficient to make profits. But if the Kumo is not in my favor, then I do not take trades. I wait for the breakout and buy. So I do look at the Kumo shape, whether to wait for the resistance breakout or not. So Ichimoku is really a great tool. If I didn't use Ichimoku, then I would never be able to be profitable and be full-time trading. I'm a Japanese, but even if I'm not a Japanese, I may be using Ichimoku still and master my trades. Okay, Hamed says, hi Kei, what is the proportion of moving averages between time frames? I do not use moving averages. I used to, but not anymore. Again, I use Ichimoku, and these are not moving averages. This one is called Tenkan-sen. Tenkan-sen is the high and low for the last 9 candles. And this is a mid-price. It's Tenkan-sen. Kijun-sen takes high and low for the last 26 candles, and it plots the mid-price. So the calculation is different from the moving averages, and that's why I like Ichimoku. That's also a reason why I like Ichimoku. These almost all the indicators are calculated by the candlestick close. Moving average or RSI, MACD, stochastic, any indicators, almost all the indicators are calculated by taking each candlestick close price. So that means until you see the close price of the candlestick, it keeps moving. So sometimes, let's say now, if you see gold cross, dead cross in moving average, but you will never know if it stays like that until you wait for the candlestick close. Because by the time it closes, they may be separated and you may not see the cross yet. So that's why I don't like the indicators that uses the close price of each candlestick. But Ichimoku is not. Ichimoku takes again high and low in certain time frames, and that's why it never repaints. It doesn't repaint, and that's why I like Ichimoku. Once Kijun-sen or Tenkan-sen angles, then it stays the same, whether it's close or open on the candlesticks. So, yeah. Ichimoku is a great tool. Ichimoku is also like a concept itself among the markets. It's not the pure indicator, it's the philosophy of the markets itself. Alright, Jose, good to see you. Thanks for joining. And Mohsen, thanks for joining from Iran. Good to see you. Okay, trading in 15 minutes is more profitable. Okay, yep. Hello Tam, thanks for joining from Vietnam, good to see you. Othman, good to see you too, thanks for joining. Samsara says, what is the biggest losing streak you had in number of trades? I want to know if I'm doing something wrong and start questioning myself. My losing streaks, the biggest losing streak that I had was, I would say 5 at most. Well, I have some specific rules in terms of losing streaks. If I lose 1 time, it's okay. It happens. If I lose 2 times, it's okay. It happens. But if I lose 3 times consecutive, then there must be something wrong, is my idea. So I stopped trading. Then come back charts maybe next week. Then I may start to win again. So 1 time loss is okay. 2 times loss is okay, but if you get the loss 3rd time, that's time when you have to question yourself and you may have to stop trading, give some time, and come back. And this is also about psychology, but the reasons can be about the market itself, or the reason can be about yourself. You may be so stressed, you may be missing something else, or you may be having some short sleeps, or stress at work, family, and your mind may be not here. That could be the reason why you keep losing. You may not be able to following the rules. You may be losing discipline. It may be causing the losing streaks. But when you are actually having the losing streaks, you can't really know why. Because you may be emotional and you may be trying to revenge trade, which you never want to do. But whichever psychology states you're in, when you have 3 losing streaks, then I recommend to stop trading and give some time. So the reasons could be also the market itself. You may be choosing the wrong market trades, or you may be choosing the right markets on 3 times, but the timings may not be right. Or the markets are just too volatile, too spiky, with no reasons. So you may be losing also. So if you have the fixed strategy, fixed rule in terms of entries and exits, then you know the reason why you keep losing. Again, when you're having 3 losing streaks, you may not know. But when you look back your trades, like let's say next week, once your emotion settles down, look back your journal, your trades, then you may be finding some losing patterns. You may be missing the major resistance support levels, or you may be missing some entry confirmations. You may be missing some important information from Ichimoku itself. Then you identify the reason or the losses, then try to avoid them next time. This is the process of improvement. And this is the process that you have to keep on doing if you want to make profits in the long term. If you stop your journey of learning from your losses, then you may be losing and you may have to quit trading in the future. So I think, so again, coming back to your question, it's either it's either your psychology or the market itself. But either way, I recommend you to stop trading when you have 3 losing streaks, is my suggestion. Never keep trading, never try to revenge trade, never try to cover the losses to trade. Trading is not to cover the losses. And trading is technically not to make profits, but trading is to follow rules with discipline, that's it. And profits will come by the byproduct of the discipline. If you keep following the rules, then profit should come. Usually you can't make profits because you may be missing something, or you may be emotionally taking trades, you may be trading intuitions. But if you being disciplined, then you should be able to run profits. That's for sure. So if I keep talking about these topics, then I have also lots of topics I want to talk about in my mind. But yeah, to answer that question, this is my answer. Okay. Yeah, but psychology is really important. Yeah. Hold on, let me check some other comments here. Okay, Jalaj says, what do you think markets are too choppy due to algo trading nowadays? I was watching your old videos, trend used to last long, but nowadays markets too choppy. I don't really think that will affect our performance. Yeah, I was like 3 years ago, we had more trends clearly than now. But you can still make profits, that's for sure. Yeah. It used to have lots of trends, lots of bigger trends in USD pairs, Euro pairs, or JPY pairs. But yeah, I think now, in that sense, now it may be a bit challenging. It could be due to algo, or it could be due to COVID. It could be due to some other incidents in the world. But whatever the reasons could be, it doesn't stop you from trading. You have to keep trading with the rules, in discipline, then you should be fine. And also try to find the areas to improve your trades. Okay, yeah, so let me continue to check some more comments. Yeah, so looks like the markets are now a bit ranging and retracing, so I won't take any trades today. Today I had no trades. And this week, the markets are all ranging, retracing. And this is where we have to be patient also. Because this is when people tend to lose. They may rush into the markets and lose. So I think patience requires very much this week. And we never know. Next week, we may see some bigger trends. So until we see the clear markets, next time we have to keep watching, keep monitoring patiently. Okay, Lamin says, what is the orange website with the news? Oh, this is fxstreet.com. This one is fxstreet.com is my website that I use. Okay, Euro AUD. All right, Euro AUD is it's also retracing. Yeah, now it's touching Kijun Sen, but it broke the resistance level of 1.6785. So if the market breaks Kijun Sen, then I think it goes down. So let's see if this will be supported by the Kijun Sen today or not. Yeah, I was waiting for the breakout of 1.7, the round number, exact number, 1.7, but it didn't happen. After that, it started to retrace. So I don't take any trades. This is where the market becomes very tricky too. This is the fight between the long-term buyers and short-term sellers. So that's why the market becomes very spiky and it's losing the direction. Okay, Davies, thanks for joining. Good to see you. All right, hello JJ, thanks for joining from Philippines. Good to see you too. Okay, Wymin says how to avoid fake stop loss or support resistance level for entry confirmations. You can avoid the fake breakouts by the risk management. This will be the whole new topic, but to make the long story short, if you exit in earlier timings, as soon as you know it's fake, then you should be safe. Okay. Guebo says, what time do you most entry new trades? There is a time when market shows more opportunities in general. In general, UK session becomes the most active, and I've seen more opportunities in UK session. Yeah, but I scan charts in Asian session and also UK session, New York session, and whenever I find opportunities, I do take trades. So in other words, I don't have specific timings for my entries. Whenever I see opportunities, I take them. Whenever in the day. Okay, Folking says, do you wait for the pullback after breakout or go once the breakout happens? I go once the breakout happens, or again, I even enter trades before the breakout. When I see the nice Kumo, then I enter trades before the breakout of the major support resistances, which is, I think, against the major teachings. And I used to wait for the breakout and buy, or wait for the pullback after breakout and buy or sell, but it doesn't always happen. So that's why I was wondering how to enter trades before the potential breakout, so that once the breakout really happens, I capture some nice pips. So that's the way I develop my strategy. Yeah, so lots of things to check and keep in mind in trading. Yeah, and for me, I develop my own strategy with my own experience. So sometimes my analysis and my knowledge, or what I share to you, may be contradicting from the books. But that's a reality. After you master, after you understand the basic forms, then you try to develop your own strategy. I think it's for everything when you learn something new. So I used to, again, wait for the entry, wait for the breakout for the entries, but I keep waiting, and breakout happens, I enter trade, then the market goes down below the resistance, and I exit with a loss. Or I wait for the pullback after the breakout and buy, then double top above the resistance and goes down. It happens too. Or I enter trade before the breakout and breaks and keeps going. It happens too. Of course, I enter trade before the breakout, then the market will be resisted, then goes bearish against my direction. It happens too. But I think this is really, I think the really key is to know which resistance can be the breakout and which one is not, most likely. Yeah, this is kind of difficult to explain, but because it comes from my experience. But I think you can, check some patterns in the past markets and see how the market breaks or when it doesn't break. If try to find these patterns and apply in the future trades. Yeah. And I say this, but I'm still learning too. This is like never-ending lesson, never-ending school of trading. So yeah, every week I get some new lessons and I take memos and try to apply in my future trades. So my future trades, my next trade will be the best trade. Is my philosophy too. Okay, Hankang Gale says, hello Kay, do I see Dubai in the fog or is it sand? This is fog. Yeah, oh wow, now it's becoming more foggy. Today is really foggy, deep fog here. Yeah, so very humid. Yeah. So I think trading is more like an art. When you try to learn how to play music, I play the violin, but trading is like an art. How to, draw paintings, how to play music. It's like that. So there are some certain patterns from textbook, but if you only play from textbook, then you don't have your own texture to it. and we are all different. So we should be able to play a music differently, right? So it's a journey to understand the basics, and also the journey to find out about yourself. Hello, Kenley, thanks for joining. And Goran, good to see you from Sweden. Thanks for joining. And Augustine, also good to see you. Thank you for joining too. Okay, Alex Wong says, my Forex fund was frozen today. Oh, what happened? Is that due to the broker, or I'm not sure? Yeah, it never happened to me, so I'm not sure why it happens to you. Okay, can we use FinFiz Forex to choose a pair to trade? I never use that, so I'm not sure. Is that the broker? FinFiz? Oh, FinBiz. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, finviz.com maybe. Stock Screener. Yeah, I never use that, so I'm not sure. Okay, Guebo, you're welcome. Okay, Mohen says, is it possible to explain how the three theories in a 5-span Ichimoku and let's see? Three theories, yes. Yes. I do check charts by three theories also and get overall market situations. Yeah, three theories in Ichimoku is wave theory and time theory and price theory. Technically, it's called price observation theory, but you can also call it as Ichimoku, time theory. And time theory is the most important among three theories. Or wave and time theory are the most important. They go along. And price theory is on top of it. I was reading the Ichimoku book today. This is one of the Ichimoku books I read right now. This is Ichimoku, one of the Ichimoku original books volume, and this is Ichimoku Kinko-hyo, and this is complete. This is the third volume of Ichimoku book, and it comes with some charts, some original charts, handwriting of Goichi Hosoda, and I read this book, and he talks about the markets, and those charts are attached. The charts are not in this book, but charts are attached to this book. So I open chart, it's on one single paper, big paper, and I open it and I see his handwritings, and as I read the book, I try to figure out what he tries to explain. Because this book is not easy to read. This is like he teaches Ichimoku in very very philosophic way, kind of conceptual way to apply Ichimoku in trading. So he doesn't really say this is where you enter trade, this is when you exit your trades. He doesn't really say that because it's more conceptual. So I trace what he says whenever he explains the markets. Then I try to read between the lines. And it's fun. Every time I read, I learn something new. So it's really interesting book. So it's almost like reading the philosophy book or something. And he talks about many topics. He doesn't talk about the markets only. He also talks about his own stories when he was small. He talks about his father, the business. He talks about psychology a lot, and he talks about how traders back in 1970s were. they were following some certain like not the robots, but they follow some certain influencers back then, and people get scammed back in those days already, and he kind of warns it. Never believe someone's analysis. Only trust yourself when you analyze charts, is what he says too. So yeah, those topics are also very interesting to read and apply myself. And my mind comes from this book and also my own personality, and try to explain markets through internet in English from Dubai as a Japanese trader. So I feel so privileged and so feel honored to be able to have this opportunity to you and share what I know and how I see markets through Ichimoku. Okay, let me cover one last question from Akshay. Can you check Nasdaq 4-hour and daily? Sure, let me check Nasdaq. Okay, so here is Nasdaq, and okay, so here is a daily chart in Nasdaq, and it's bullish. Now it's about to break the Kumo. So it broke the resistance level of 15,374 and Chikou span touching, so it's a range technically. So you may want to wait for the Chikou span breakout. Chikou span break means Chikou span above the candles and buy. I think that will be the best timing to buy. But otherwise, the market may be resisted by the previous high and it may go down. And if it goes down, then the market goes within the Kumo on the daily chart. So it may be very choppy. Just like before, when you see the market going into Kumo, it's like airplane going into storm, and the market becomes very choppy and very difficult to read the next directions. So technically today, the market is above the Kumo, but there is a pin bar, so it may retrace, it may reverse. So yeah, if Monday or Tuesday the candlestick closes above the Kumo, then I think it goes up bullish. And wait for the Chikou span breakout also. And I think the market will be bullish, is my analysis. And Kumo itself is now flat. So you may also want to wait for the Kumo to be twisted bullish. Now this is the bearish Kumo. So you may want to wait for the Kumo twist and Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, gold cross also with the Chikou span breakout. And that will be the best timing to buy. Yeah. And check the candlestick patterns too, and capture the right entry timings. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I think the markets are now very quiet this week. So in this case, again, I don't really push myself too much to trade. So myself as a full-time trader in Forex, but it doesn't mean that I trade every day. Some days I do not take trades. I simply screen charts, monitor, see what's happening, and I stay away. Especially like the day-to-day, I don't take trades because I know the market's moving every day, and when I check charts next time, tomorrow, then I may be finding some better pairs, better opportunities. Today not, but tomorrow may be better day. So I wait for the better day to come and then take entries then. If not, then I do not take trades. So this is also something that I learned after I became full-time. Right after I became full-time, after I quit my job, I was so excited. So I was ready. I feel I was ready to trade every day. That's why I choose the scalping strategy in Forex and gold. which was gambling also back then. But I picked those markets and be very aggressive trading. 20 trades, 30 trades per day was insane. I used to have like 6 screens to look nicer, to look professional. You know, I bought 6 monitors and I was placing like, website, news, Bloomberg, and also Twitter, and strength chart, and some market orders, order blocks, and pivot points, histogram of positions. You know, there's a vertical, like a histogram where the market orders are. You know, you may be seeing that before, but I used to refer to that also. And I was using like 20 indicators in 2 screens, and I thought it was nice. I have everything, I thought, but I kept losing. So that was quite a journey. So now if you look myself in my screen, I only use 1 screen and only 1 window, 1 single time frame, and only Ichimoku and the lines. So it has been a long journey, but now I simplify my setup and I take trades this way. So again, it depends on the preference. You know, some people prefer to, be more indicators and, to see more information among the markets, but some prefer simple but, deep setup on the charts. So, yeah, I think this journey never ends. We never know. You may be seeing myself in the next couple of years. I may be using so many indicators. We never know. So, but this journey never ends. I think that's what I feel right now. So I think I will finish my live stream. And I do see lots of more comments, but I'm sorry I couldn't cover everything because of the time limit. I have now a KTS Academy and GTS graduate live stream. So I have to finish live stream here on YouTube. But thank you again for your support. And I do read your comments on YouTube on the archives. So thank you very much for your support and participations as always. So I hope you have a great Friday, great weekend ahead, and I will see you on the next one. Tomorrow, I think I will be posting the video of Yukiko Ikebe, one of the most famous Japanese housewife trader. So I hope you enjoy that video. I will introduce her trading strategies as well. So I hope you enjoy that video. Until I see you next time, please stay healthy, stay safe, stay gold. Alright, bye for now. Matane, thank you very much. Matane means see you in Japanese. So I say matane, thank you.